Hello student, today in this video we'll compare and order numbers. So this video is for middle school students, 6th grade. Now let's ask this question. What is the greatest number here, minus 3 or 2? And 0.75 or 0.25? 0 or 4? 0 or minus 1? In this case, we will use these symbols to compare the numbers. The first one is the greater than, second less than, and equal. Today, you will never be confused again when comparing numbers. So let's begin. First, comparing whole numbers. For example, compare the numbers 15 and 18. So to compare these numbers, in this case, we have on the left 1 and 1. So 1 equal 1. Then compare 10th digit. Compare 5 and 8. So 5 is less than 8. So 15 is less than 18, or 18 is greater than 15. Great. Now let's compare 45 and 53. So we have 4 and 5. Okay, let's compare 4 and 5. So in this case, this 10th digit, so 5 is greater than 4, then 45 is less than 53, or 53 is greater than 45. That's simple, right? Now comparing integers. Integers is negative and positive numbers, of course, natural numbers and negative numbers. So negative numbers are smaller than positive numbers. Always positive numbers is greater than negative numbers. For example, let's compare minus 3 and 2. So negative number is less than or smaller than positive number. So minus 3 is less than 2. Now minus 8 and 1. 1 is positive and 8 minus 8 is negative. So 1 is great than minus 8, or minus 8 is smaller than 1. But how about between negatives, if I want to compare two negative numbers? For example, minus 2 and minus 5. In this case, let's use the number line. So in the number line, here we have here we have the number 2, and we have here the number. So the first one is minus 2 and the second is minus 5. Minus 2 is on the right and minus 5 on the left. So the greatest number between the two negative numbers here is minus 2. So always in the negative numbers, or to compare negative numbers, always the number on the right in the number line is greater. For example, minus 10 and minus 1. So minus 10 here and minus 1 here. So minus 10 is on the left and minus 1 is on the right. So always the number on the right is the greater. So here minus 1 is greater than minus 10. Okay, that's easy. Now comparing decimals. So compare the two numbers. First, line them vertically. So 0 with 0, 7 with 7, 5 with 0. And you can here add 0. Okay. So now to compare these two decimals, these two numbers, first we compare 0 with 0, equal. Then compare 7/10 and 7/10. So equal. And then let's compare 500 and 0. So here 5 is greater than 0. Then the first number is the greatest number. Okay, that's easy. Now ordering numbers. To order numbers, which mean from the least to the right, from the least to the greatest, or the greatest to the least. Okay, so order from least to the greatest this series of numbers. So minus 2, 4, minus 7, 0, and 3. Then the first step is to put negatives first. To use number line is this, in this case minus 7 is less than minus 2 because minus 2 is on the right on the number line. The second step is use number line logic. So 0 is less than or smaller than 3 and 3 smaller than 4. So if we use the number line, minus 7 here is less or smaller than minus 2 and smaller than 0 and smaller than 0 smaller than 3 and the 3 is smaller than 4. So 4 is the greatest one and minus 7 is the smallest or the smaller here. So the result minus, so the series of number after ordering is minus 7, minus 2, 0, 3, and 4. Now let's practice. The first question, which is greater, minus 9 or minus 3? The second question, order the numbers. So the first number 1.2, the second 1.02, and 1.11. The third question, compare 0.5 and 0.55. And last question, order minus 2, 0, minus 1, 3, and 1. Okay, so let's give the answer. Now compare your answer with this one that I will show you. So the first one, which is greater, minus 9 or minus 3. This is the negative numbers. The minus 3 is on the right in the number line. So minus 3 is the greater here. Okay, easy, right? Now order numbers. To order numbers, we have to compare the first side, the integer side, 1. So 1 equal 1 equal 1, okay? And we now compare the decimal side, decimal part, to 0. So here we have to 0 and 1. So here 0 is the smallest, or is the smaller, and then 1 and then 2. So this is the answer. So the first one, the smaller 1.02, smaller than 1.11 or 12, sorry, and smaller than 1.2. Great. Now compare the two numbers, 0.5 and 0.55. So first compare the integer side. So 0 equals 0, right? Then compare the 500 and 500. So 5 equal 5. Okay, 5 equal 5, right? In this case, we have to compare 0. So we add 0 and with 5. So 5 is greater than 0, then the second number is the greatest. Now for the question 4, order the numbers. So first of all, think of the number line. The first number, the smaller one, is -2, then smaller than -1, then 0, then 1, then 3. Okay, so if we use the number line, we get this result. Okay, that's easy, right? So to summarize, or to give the resume of this video, so to compare numbers, for the positive numbers is always greater than negative numbers. For example, let's say, for example, 2 is positive, is greater than negative -3, is also greater than positive numbers greater than 0. Okay, so 4 is greater than 0, or 0 is less than positive numbers. For example, is less than 0.8. Okay, for the negative numbers, -9 is less than 0, -15 is less than 0, is always less than 0, and also is less than positive numbers. For example, here -8 is less than 2, -6 less than or smaller than -1, and then +1 or 1. Okay, so good luck. See you in the next one.